We're live. Hello, everyone, and shout out to each and every one of you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to your girl, Siren, right here on the Siren Speak Show. Okay, so I had to go out and then come back in. Y'all, please excuse me more. I don't know what it is that's going on, but it's just like every time I raise my energy, I cannot go live, y'all. So it's like I literally have to lower my frequency just to be able to go live. That is the craziest thing. That is some crazy work right there. It is what it is. Okay. So I have to let everybody know I did start over on a new live. So let me go ahead and send out those. Okay. But I appreciate you guys. Okay. And thank you guys so much for being here. All right. So yeah, y'all, we're going to be talking about, hold on. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking about Mercury retrograde. As y'all can see, Mercury is getting ready to go retrograde next month. However, you tend to experience the frequency of its retrograde usually anywhere from 1 month to 2 weeks prior to it going retrograde. So for me, it's always like a whole month. Okay, like Mercury retrograde do not wait for 2 weeks. So shout out to those of you who get that 2 week, effect. I don't get that. For me, it's always like a month. All right, so let me try to do this. Okay, I was trying to lower the camera, you guys. And it's like, it just like poofed on me. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about Mercury's retrograde. So quite a few of you, hey, Anisha, hey, y'all. Hey, as you tune up into the building, y'all, thank y'all for being patient. Like I said, Mercury is getting ready to go retrograde. So expect delays, y'all. Just expect things to, take a little more time. So be very patient at this time as we go through Mercury's retrograde. I did take a little bit of notes that I wanted to talk about. First of all, let's talk about what Mercury retrograde is and what it means for those of us who, have never heard it from Siren. And for those of us who have, let's get a refresher course on Mercury and its retrograde, because it will be going retrograde, I believe it's 3 times this year, and it's going to be in water signs. So it's going to be in Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And it's going to be starting us off in Pisces, y'all. So this is going to be quite a bit of it's going to affect you spiritually. Okay, not physically, not mentally, it's going to affect spiritually. So it means it's going to affect your emotions. So if you have anything that is bottled up within you, whether you know it or not, it will be coming to the surface, and it will be causing conflict and chaos in your life. This is why when we try to move forward during Mercury retrograde, we get delays, we get setbacks, we get detours, because energetically, Mercury is saying you're not ready to go in that direction. Sorry, boo, but we're going to have to reroute you. Okay, so a lot of us tend to get rerouted when Mercury goes retrograde, and we don't understand what it is that's happening. It's just we notice we start to have trouble either when it comes to our vehicles, because this is what Mercury rules. Mercury rules over your vehicles. Mercury rules over communication. Okay, Mercury also rules over travel. So, when we tend to have car trouble during that time, if you have any traveling planned, you tend to expect delays on your flights or delays with your traveling plans or whatever may happen. And also, with communication, emails you probably send an email, but that person never got it, or you look for emails, you can't find them. It's just, it throws off the energy or the level of communication that we normally, have an easier time going through. So we're looking at the planet Mercury, okay? The god Mercury, the planet Mercury, which is also connected to Hermes, okay? So for those of you who shop luxury, you think that you're buying just brand clothes, but these are actual gods that you are purchasing, okay, that are connected to these luxury brands. This is why these luxury brands can list their prices the way they do, and they're considered luxury because they come from the, gods and goddess. For another example, you have Medusa, okay, the goddess Medusa, which is over Versace, okay. I believe when it comes to Gucci, we're looking at Dionysus, but I'm not sure. Okay. I don't know why I get Dionysus, which is connected to Gucci, which may be, but I'm not sure. Also, whatever other luxury brands are out there, these luxury brands are connected to gods. Okay. You guys, this is why they are priced the way they are, and this is why they are considered to be the luxury brand. Okay. So we're looking at the energy of Mercury, which is a planet. Also, Hermes is the energy connected to Mercury, which rules over our travel. Okay, so you guys want to write this down: your travel, your communication, okay, also your transportation. Now, Mercury also does play a slight role when it comes to technology. Okay, when it comes to your phones, when it comes to your computers and things of that nature. This is why we tend to get a little bit of delays and stuff when Mercury goes retrograde. Our phones stop working. The computers are a little slow. You guys may hear phone companies say, oh, we had a power outage, or, calls were dropping during that time. So just expect these type of things to happen when Mercury does go retrograde. Okay. So Mercury will be going retrograde, I believe, February 26th until March the 20th. Now, you can start to experience these energies prior to, which will be probably like around now, honestly, for most of us. But usually 2 weeks prior to its retrograde, you will start to feel the effects. Now, when Mercury does go retrograde, there are certain things you just don't do, you guys. We know that. When Mercury goes retrograde, it is not a time to start something new. It is not a time to move forward with something new. It is not a time to sign contracts. It is not a time really to travel, but if you do travel, expect delays. The best travel Mercury supports is somewhere you have already been. If it's somewhere new, trip and things of that nature, you definitely want to check to see if Mercury is retrograde before you book your travel plans. Okay, you want to make sure Mercury is not going to be retrograde. Otherwise, expect a lot of delays. Okay, so when Mercury goes retrograde next month, you guys, it will be going retrograde in the energy of Pisces, which means it will be affecting our emotions. Whatever has not been resolved, either this lifetime or previous, it is going to come up. Okay. And when we're looking at the energy of Pisces, Pisces is the deepest. It's the wounds that are so deep within you. Okay. It goes deep when we're looking at the energy of Pisces, y'all. It's not like somebody who pissed you off last week. It's not somebody who cut you off in the road and traffic and you was like, oh, I wish you, it's not that. It's the stuff that you don't really want to deal with. Sometimes it could be stuff that you don't know about. You just know, oh, that pisses me off, or that tends to trigger me, so you may possibly be triggered when it comes to this energy, you guys, and you may not know. You may feel yourself being a little snappy. Okay, you may have issues when it comes to getting some sleep, when it comes to, nap time or bedtime, things of that nature. You may, because these emotions are going to come to the surface, which means Mercury goes retrograde because it's a time for us to fix our mistakes. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it is a time for us to say, okay, what did I not complete? What did I not do right? It's kind of like a chance for you to retest, okay? For you to take that test over again. And hopefully this time you'll pass the life lesson, whatever it may be. So in some way, shape, or form, you guys, when it comes to your life, you failed the test, okay? Something, maybe you shouldn't have went off on that person, or maybe you shouldn't have, lied and said this. Something you did, okay? Where you did not pass the test. Mercury is going to go retrograde in Pisces, and it's going to give you a chance to correct that situation. There are ways that you can look deeper into what it is that this exact retrograde will be for you. One, you can look for synchronizations, okay, meaning 111, 222, those type of things, you guys. You can look for animal totems to pop up to give you some advice. You may start seeing squirrels or eagles or cardinals or chipmunks or dogs, or maybe white dogs. Maybe all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of cats. What you can do is decode what it is that those animals represent. Perhaps it can give you some sort of insight in regards to exactly what it is this Mercury retrograde will be saying to you, or will be trying to get you to correct, okay? Otherwise, you can go to spiritualcandies.com. You can book you a consultation, and your girl Siren will get you right on together, okay? when Mercury goes retrograde, this energy can be rather tough. And a lot of us, we take it personal. We think, oh my God, it's just me. It's just me. It's not. It's us. It's we. It's us as a collective. Okay. So it's not just you. It's not just about you. We got to stop taking our life so personal. Even though your path is individual, we still have a collective role. Okay. So it's like a computer. You have the mouse, you have the keyboard. Even though they're two separate things, they both need each other. You know what I'm saying? To work. They both are connected in some way, shape, or form. So it's like when it comes to this world and this life that we live in, what you do and your frequency affects me. Even though we don't think that, it does. Okay. So if we're all in a small, compact room, okay, and let's say somebody passed gas, all of us are going to be affected by that. We're all going to smell it if it smells horrible, you know? So it's like one person can do something that affects everybody, even though you didn't specifically do anything. So because we are all connected energetically, you guys, what you do and how you live your life does affect us as a whole. How I live my life does affect us as a whole. Okay. It's kind of like if you buy a house in a certain neighborhood and let's say certain neighbors don't keep up their lawn, or, they always have some trouble going on at their house. The police is always called. That's going to bring down the value of that whole development. Okay, so it's kind of like that house and whatever it is that they do and however it is that they live will affect how it is that you're living in parts of your life as well. So we're just giving those as broad examples, you guys, but you can take that example and you can apply it to your everyday life to see that, okay, it does affect me how it is that other people live. And we would want everybody to raise their frequency. We would want everybody to, and when we talk about raising your frequency, I don't want everybody to think that the light is always the way. Okay. Sometimes you have to embrace your darkness. And when I say darkness, I don't mean bad. I don't even mean low. It's an energy of mystery. Okay. It's an energy of creativity, right? The darkness is a very powerful energy because everything that's in the light comes from the darkness. The darkness is your thoughts. So when you think about, what do I want to be? The first thing you do is you go into the darkness and you create from there. Okay. And I want to be a teacher. Oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I can see myself doing this. Everything comes from the energy of the darkness, you guys. So there are other darkness out there that, we can on the third dimensional refer to as something derogatory or negative or low or bad. But we're talking about energy. We're talking about dark energy. Okay. Not dark people. And I mean that as in frequency, not color. Okay. So now with this Mercury, as it goes retrograde and it starts to affect each and every one of us, it's going to go into your dark energy because that's where Pisces is. Pisces is in the deep, deep, deep abyss. Pisces is that energy that we don't want to face. It's the parts of us that we don't like to really face. Okay. It's the parts of us that we really don't want to step into or tell anybody about. So that's what Pisces is going to be bringing up for us as Mercury goes retrograde. Now, Mercury, again, transportation. When Mercury goes retrograde, it can affect our transportation, our travel, you guys, our communication, our neighborhood. Also, it can bring up unresolved issues when it comes to siblings or neighbors, okay? So when Mercury goes retrograde, pay attention to any issues that may come up with your siblings, something that may have been hidden that maybe somebody has never said to you before or you have never said to them. It's a time to honestly try to be as truthful as you can. But when Mercury goes retrograde, it can bring up some sort of conflict or unresolved conflict with the siblings. So if you know you have some unresolved beef with the sister or brother that y'all never got over, y'all, it happened, y'all never brought it back up, and it's just like, to the side, that this will be a great time for you to go through and for you to resolve that. Okay. So, hold on, you guys, let me see. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit more, okay, about the Mercury and its shadow period. The shadow period includes the weeks before and after the main retrograde. So it can be 2 weeks before and as well as 2 weeks after the Mercury goes direct. So when Mercury goes direct on March 20th, you want to give it until about at least 2 weeks after that for that energy to kind of cool down, because you'll still be feeling the effects of Mercury as it is in its retrograde. It's kind of like when you turn the oven off. It don't get cold right away. It has got to cool down, and then eventually it will fade into that cold energy. So that's how these retrogrades are. You got to give them some time to kind of cool down. Okay. So does Mercury retrograde affect everyone the same way is a question. It does not, okay? It does occur in specific zodiac signs. What you can do is check your birth chart sometimes to see exactly how it is that Mercury will be affecting you. If it is in Pisces, you will see where, when you were born, what planet was in Pisces, and you can see the area of your life that this Mercury retrograde will affect. But if you don't have access to that, like I said, you can simply ask and pay attention to any synchronizations, your intuition, or any dream messages that you may get. It's up to you. Okay. Hold on, let's see. During Mercury retrograde, you want to avoid signing any major contracts. It's not a time to sign a lease agreement. It's not a time to get a new car. Okay. Please, okay, do not buy a new car during Mercury retrograde. Guaranteed 99.999% rate of you will have issues with that car from the rooter to the tutor from day 1 to day 2. Okay. First of all, you don't want to sign any contract. You don't even want to get a new credit card when Mercury is in retrograde. You don't want to do anything. Now, if you have a credit card, you can call the credit card company and you can renegotiate your rate. Okay. Your APR. Now, that's something that you can do when Mercury goes retrograde, but it's not a time to sign any new contracts, no major contracts whatsoever. Even if you are, let's say you have a business and you're getting ready to have a company do something for your business and there's a contract involved, you want to wait till after Mercury goes direct for you to do that, okay? Because sometimes you can get in business agreements and they end up falling out. Soon as Mercury goes direct, within like 3 to 6 months, that contract, just the business agreement, whatever it is, it just falls through. The thing about understanding Mercury retrograde, and the reason I wanted to talk about it, is because we need to understand that things are not just happening. Okay, they're happening because of our ignorance. If we have the information and the knowledge to understand how to make moves during certain times, you guys, we will end up having more power and more control over what we experience in our life. But because we don't understand, or because we don't know that, okay, Mercury is retrograde, so that means, this is not a good time to travel. But some of us have a whole trip booked. Some of us, we just going out, I'm going to go get me a car next weekend. And then you get that car, next thing you know, you have car trouble and more car trouble and more car trouble. I'm telling you, just knowing when to do things and when not to do things is going to be beneficial for you. So avoid signing major contracts or making a big purchase, like purchasing a new washing machine. It's not a good time to purchase appliances at all. Okay. If you have any appliances, this would be a great time to get them fixed, but not to purchase a new one. Okay, so you want to wait till Mercury is direct before you purchase any new appliances. Okay, I don't care if it's a curling iron, I don't care what it is. Wait until Mercury goes direct to purchase a new one. During this time, you want to double check your emails, your messages, and your travel plans. You want to go over things over and over. This is why I say you have to have patience during this time. You're going to have patience during this time, you guys, because things can get lost. Just communication can be very confusing during this time. Somebody may say yes, and you may swear you heard them say no. Okay, so this energy can, when it comes to Mercury, it's a trickery kind of energy. It can be a trickery kind of energy. So when it is in its retrograde, meaning it's the opposite, okay, energy that you get when it goes direct. It's kind of like somebody walking forward and now they're walking backwards. Okay, so it's that type of energy right there. All right. So you want to double check your emails. I don't care what you sent somebody. Before you click send, you want to double check it. Even when it comes to your text messages, you want to double check your text messages, triple check your text messages. Make sure you're sending it to the right person. OK, because you've been unsent that little selfie or that little pic. You know what I'm saying? To the wrong person. And next thing you know, it's like, oops, I did it again. OK. So you want to make sure that you double check, even triple check things, you guys, before you send it out, before you do anything. This is a great time to back up your devices, okay? Any data that you may have, you want to be patient. during this time, especially during, you know, like when I go live, y'all pay attention to me as I go live when Mercury is in retrograde. Okay, play close attention. You see that? I'm telling you, I already know how I am when Mercury goes retrograde. Okay, Mercury was in a heavy spot of my birth chart when I was born, so it actually rules over quite a bit of a heavy part of my life. So whenever it does go retrograde, this is why I was the Mercury retrograde queen. Okay, you guys, I have the Mercury retrograde products and all of that stuff because listen, that's the only way I was able to survive Mercury's retrograde, because I'm telling you, whatever could happen during Mercury retrograde, it happened to me. Okay, I was only able to survive when I started to create the products and take my baths and use my oils and my sprays and stuff like that, because I'm telling you, I was choked up every time. Everything crazy that could happen was happening to me. All right. You want to revisit old projects. It's not a time to move forward with anything new. Anything that you started, let's say you said last year, oh, you know what? I want to start a YouTube and you didn't. This will be the perfect time for you to go back over that idea and do that then. Okay, whatever it is that you may have started in the past, but you didn't finish, this is going to be a time for you to go back and do that then. So you guys can take notes now to say, okay, Mercury is going to go retrograde February 26th. You know what? I never finished this, or I never finished that, or I never finished this. You know what I'm saying? It's a great time for you to redo, okay, some sort of unresolved or incomplete project or whatever it is that you may have started. Okay. So you want to do that. Please do not start anything new. Okay. Do not start anything new. So Mercury will be retrograde, you guys, in Pisces from February 26th until March the 20th. Now, we also have a lunar eclipse, I believe it is, that's going to be on March the 3rd, which is going to be in the sign of Virgo, which is going to be very big, okay? This eclipse is going to be huge. When I say huge, it's going to be huge. If you want more detailed information in regards to how this eclipse will be affecting us, you guys, you definitely want to check that out on Patreon if you can, okay? Let me see. All right, so that was pretty much it. I just wanted to brief you guys really quickly in regards to the fact that Mercury will be going retrograde, okay, starting February 26th, and this is something that we all needed to know. For whatever reason, my spirit was just like, let them know Mercury's getting ready to go retrograde, so expect delays. There is also something else that took place in 1983, I believe it was. The energy of 1983 will be very, very, very lucrative to this Mercury's retrograde. There was a specific energy that took place, a specific ritual that took place back in 1983. Now, whether you were born or not, you may say, well, Siren, I wasn't even born yet. That doesn't affect me. Yes, it does, okay? Because the fact that this was done, it was done with a specific intention, and there was some energy that was placed out over the collective that has been affecting us ever since, okay? So I will be discussing the specifics of this situation over on Patreon, and like I say, for those of you who are part of the Patreon family, y'all just be expecting that video real soon, because I'm going to be laying it out, okay, and giving y'all the tea on what is going on, okay? The games that they play, all right? So, next up, we're going to be talking about how it is that you can transform into the highest version of yourself, okay? This is something that we need to focus on as we move closer to the beginning of 2026, which for me is in the springtime, you guys. It introduces spring. Right now, we're in the dead of winter, okay? The dead of winter. What are we doing in the wintertime, you guys? We're focusing on how it is that we can become a higher version of ourselves. This is what the wintertime supports. So this is the time for us to work with that dark energy, you guys, really tapping into your shadow self, into the aspects of you that you really don't like to deal with too much. Colors that you can wear during the winter, you guys, which is that December, January, February type of energy. You guys, rocking with your black. As you guys see, I wear a lot of dark colors. You can wear like indigo blue. You can wear like a dark purple. I think it's maroon that you can wear. Silver is good. If you want to wear lighter colors, you can wear colors like silver, or white is honestly a good color that you can wear during this time. Working with these colors can kind of help you tap into or tune into the darker aspect of yourself or your shadow energy, okay, to bring up aspects of you and parts of you that are buried deep within. I'm telling you guys, for the next 2 to 3 years, there's no energy that you're going to work with on the outside. Everything is energy that you have to work with on the inside. Okay, this is what life is going to be about for the next 2 to 3 years, is focusing on you. How is it that you need to heal? Not about, haters and, low vibrational people and keeping to yourself and things of that nature. None of that is going to be healthy. Okay, you're really going to have to focus on you. You're going to have to go deep within. And in order for us to get to that version of us, things that we need to focus on, I'm going to talk about it. Okay. We need to make these lifestyle changes, you guys. There are lifestyle changes that you just have to realize you cannot take, 2022, 21, 2014, 2006. Those things you cannot bring to today. It's kind of like trying to use MySpace. So let's say you go and log into your MySpace account. How popping you think is going to be right now? Even though back then it was popping, but today it has no frequency, it has no energy, it just does not vibrate well to today. So now you're going to have to look at things about you that are equivalent to MySpace, that are outdated. Okay, belief systems, things that you believe, things that you do, things that you want, your desires, even some of the people you hang around. Some people who are in your today life are kind of stuck in that era, and they're keeping you stuck in that era. So it's like you're going to have to move forward to getting to know people of this era right now, people that can help you while you are where you are. Okay, so we're going to have to make some lifestyle changes, you guys. Some of you, it may require career changes, right? Some of you, it may require changes of your friends. Some of you, it may require changes of your eating habits, okay? Places that you love to hang out, some hobbies, whatever it is, you're going to know what it is that's specifically for you, okay? Other things we're going to have to focus on, food and nutrition, you guys, okay? For those of you who are a part of the Patreon family, I've already given y'all some stuff, okay? I want y'all to go over there, check out those videos, because I've told you some things that we really do not need to be touching for the next couple of years, okay? But we definitely have to focus on health, you guys, okay? Let me tell you something. And this is just Siren speaking on the Siren Speak Show, okay? Please be advised, okay, that this is just me telling you guys how it is that I feel. I'm not trying to educate anybody. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. Okay, these are just my thoughts based upon my experience in this world. Okay, when it comes to food, you guys, remember years ago they have been saying for years that there's a shortage of food. There's a shortage of food. There is not a shortage of what we know, okay, as food, but there is a shortage of real food. Okay, what we're purchasing allegedly, it could be. We try to see how I can word this so we don't totally cut it out. Okay, what could be? Okay, it could be that the food that we are consuming, you guys, it has no nutritional value. Meaning it's made in a plant. Okay, these corporations have pretty much bought all of the food sources. So let's say allegedly, if Bill Gates could have allegedly bought all of the cereal companies. So even though it says Post and Kellogg's and all of that, Bill Gates could allegedly own all of that, which means he controls now all of the ingredients, and he says what goes in what and what goes in this. We're no longer going to use real ingredients. We're going to start working with these ingredients because they last longer and they cause a lot of addiction. So when we look at food, it's called the FDA. Okay, we're looking at the Food and Drug. Okay, so the food may possibly consist of drugs to keep you addicted to eating it. It's not that it has any nutritional value. There are so many people that I'm working with that are like, oh, I'm on my health journey. I'm eating healthy. Okay, you're eating healthy, but you're buying fruit with no seeds. Okay, you're buying seedless watermelon, talking about you eating your fruit for the day. You're buying boneless meats, okay, which means it is now processed. I passed by a vehicle the other day. It was a truck as I was driving on the highway with my husband, and we passed by this truck that said liquid chicken. I said, what the? I literally recorded. For those of you who check out my vlogs, you will see it. But I was like, does it say liquid chicken? He's like, yeah, that's what it says. They tell you, you guys. They literally tell you. Okay. Now we're looking. We went through about 6 different states. And it wasn't until we got to, I think, Texas that we started to see a little bit of cattle. And I always tell you guys, when it comes to food, there's not enough cattle to support a burger joint on every block. Not only do you have burger places like Burger King and McDonald's and Checkers, but you also have restaurants that are serving burgers. It's too many burger joints and not enough cattle. Okay, it's too many chicken joints and not enough chickens. I don't see that many coops out there for all these chicken joints to be on every corner like this. So what's really going on? What are we really consuming? There's not enough farms out here it's to the point where we have fruit out of season. We're getting mango year round. Year round, you guys, it's right in our face. So when it comes to food and nutrition, you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to have to use your discernment. Now, especially when you're eating, allegedly going out to eat. I will always, go out to nice restaurants with my husband. And, we always wanted to have our little date night and stuff like that. So I would go to nice little steak houses and, pay big top dollar because I wanted a good quality piece of meat. I wasn't a very big steak eater. I actually just started eating red meat again, probably like 2022 or 23. I believe it is. So, I wasn't eating red meat for a while. And I just started back eating it and I done cut it out again. Okay. 2025, that was it. Okay. As of 2026, no red meat for me. But anywho, what I was asking about when it comes to food, okay, as I meditated with these restaurants, because I'm like, what is going on with the restaurants? First of all, majority of the restaurants are franchise anyway. But when it comes to these restaurants, I just saw that the meat, okay, allegedly in some of these restaurants, the meat may possibly be printed on a computer, okay, and then boop, microwave meat. Like, it's not coming from a source of an animal anymore. They're literally allegedly taking the DNA, copying it into a computer system, and then printing it out that way. And then they package it up. And next thing you know, it's making its way into a fine restaurant, okay, and then onto your plate. Our body is not able to digest these things, y'all. I know they're putting product in the food, and I don't think it's any type of seasoning, honestly. Allegedly, it may possibly be the drug part of the FDA that is keeping us going back and forth by consuming a lot of these foods. This is why I personally support smaller restaurant chains that are not like part of a franchise. I kind of like the ma and pa, or, the restaurants that I know somebody personally owns that, and they're not forced to, go by the season, okay, rules or the food that they're recommending for the franchise chains. I kind of go to more just personal, restaurants, you guys, as opposed to eating out and things of that nature. This is where I'm moving forward to, because one thing I would always eat was salmon. That was one of the things that I would eat a lot. I did stay away from red meat for a while. And then I, would eat a little bit of salmon and fish. That was pretty much my main go-to. And I just noticed that the salmon started to taste like chicken. I'm like, what is going on? Why does the salmon just doesn't taste like fish? It just tastes like chicken. And that's when I saw it. The FDA approved the sale of printed salmon. So it's printed salmon. This is not even coming out of the dang on water no more. It's printed off of a computer, and now it has made its way into a package and into these restaurants and onto your plate, and next thing you know, inside of your stomach. These things are shutting down our chakras, okay? When we are consuming these foods, okay, you guys, they're shutting down the chakras. So you're going to have to use discernment as to where it is that you eat and what it is that you eat, okay? Like I say, I prefer smaller restaurant brands. I prefer to stay away from those franchise restaurant brands. That's just my preference, okay? And go to, if I want to eat out, go to those smaller chains, you guys, that it's just one of them. Or, maybe they might have 2 locations, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Because they're not regulated to go by or serve all of that packaged meat that may come from these plants, okay, which is fresh off of a computer. So because our body is not able to process a lot of these foods, as well as when you think you're eating, your fruit and things of that nature, when you think you're eating your vegetables and things of that nature, it's just like you're consuming these things, but your body is not able to break it down, which means it's going to start to cause a lot of, allegedly, it may lead to other health issues, okay? When those chakras start to shut down, this may lead to a majority of our health issues, okay? So food and nutrition is going to be very, very important for us coming up. I personally believe the food is now used as a weapon. I don't think it is food anymore. I think it is being used as a weapon. I think we do have a food shortage, okay? I think we have a real food shortage, okay? Not a food shortage, but a real food shortage. That's why I say when you go out to eat, you may want to try those smaller restaurant chains, you guys, because they're not receiving their shipments from the others. You know what I'm saying? They go out and they personally purchase their meats and vegetables and things of that nature from certain meat stores and stuff. And if you notice, a lot of meat stores, okay, it's hard to get, just meat stores are shutting down and things of that nature because now they want to print the meat. So you got to look at the fact that where are the meat stores going? You're looking for a meat store and it's just like, oh my word, where is a meat store? So yeah, food and nutrition is going to be very important for us to focus on in these upcoming years because it's going to be definitely affecting our health, okay, energetically and physically. All right. When your body is unable to process things, you guys, when your body is like, what is this? Everything is foreign. Everything you eat, from the cereal to the milk, is foreign. Your body doesn't recognize it. So, it's going to start shutting down. And we don't want that to happen. All right. Another thing we're going to have to focus on, you guys, is exercise. I tell you guys so much, even when you're young. Okay. Because a lot of you, for whatever reason, I don't know why y'all in y'all 20, 21, 23, reaching out the old siren, talking about y'all want to hear. Lord have mercy. Y'all getting younger and younger. Okay. I'm like, what? But anywho, y'all know I help everybody who comes to me. Anybody who come knocking at my door, siren is definitely going to open it and let you in. Okay. But the need to exercise, okay? My more mature and seasoned folk, yes, we have to get out and we have to exercise. You're going to have to prioritize that, y'all. Why? Because it's not about exercising. It's not about, doing this. It's about your solar plexus chakra. The more complacent, the more we sit down and, we don't really move and do that vigorous exercise or that vigorous movement with that intent to work out and move our solar plexus chakra. There are so many energy waves that are piercing us throughout the day. When you just standing in line, let's say in line at the bank, everybody in front of you, everybody behind you has a cell phone. All of that radiation is penetrating your body, including your own cell phone. Okay, so all of that radiation is now penetrating your body and it is shutting down your solar plexus chakra by the second. Your wheel is spinning slower and slower. And we also have to look at the fact we have people who are shedding, okay, and sending off spikes and stuff. So you have people who may have health issues or their frequency is a certain way, so they're shedding and sending off spikes. So that's also slowing down your solar plexus chakra. So you definitely want to make sure you get into some sort of workout regime, you guys. I don't care if I personally would prefer if you could find a nice park and go for a walk. The need to get inside of the forest is very crucial. The forest is the hospital for your soul. Okay, let me say that again. The forest is the hospital for your soul. They have people who were very sickly and they sent them to live in the forest for 6 months to a year. They all came out better, if not completely healed. Okay, the forest is like the hospital for your soul. It is just good if you can get out into a nice forest or a nice park walk. Dedicate that to yourself, you guys. Set that as a new goal or, part of your resolution, okay, is to get out. A lot of us will work out at home. Okay, it's good to work out at home, you guys, but it's also better to get out of your home environment and get out into a different frequency, because when you're at home, you have certain frequencies there and you want to explore other frequencies as often and as frequently as you possibly can. Okay, so the need to get out and exercise, you need to do it at least 30 to 45 minutes straight. A lot of people say I do exercise, but we're talking about 30 to 40 minutes straight of just walking, okay? Just walking, getting out there and moving your body. And like I said, you want to purposefully get out there and move your solar plexus chakra, okay? You want to work that solar plexus chakra like it's nobody's business, all right? Travel, you guys. Travel is going to be very important as well. Okay. Why is it that travel is going to be very important? Because first of all, there are certain frequencies. There may be a frequency in Cali that's not in Miami. Okay. So if you're called to travel, if your soul calls for you to travel, you guys, you want to get out and you want to travel. You do. You want to get out and you want to travel. Why? Because you're going to be getting the frequencies. Now, because the food is up, okay, because the food is not the best, you guys, sometimes the energy that you may need for your body is just in another city, state, and or country. So wherever your soul calls for you to travel with the intent of, one, having a good time, being in a new environment, whatever your travel plans are, but two, to heal yourself and to, shift and work on your frequency. So the need to travel is going to be very important as well. Okay. Setting goals. All right, y'all, we got to set more goals. See, a lot of us, we're expecting things, but we're really not doing anything to get it. And we don't know what we're expecting. We're kind of confused. And it's just like, write down some goals. Okay. Write down some goals. That way you have something that you feel like you're working towards, because what's happening is a lot of us, we're falling into kind of like a funk. Okay. We're falling into somewhat of I just don't know what I want anymore. I just don't feel connected to anything anymore. I just feel lost. I feel a little depressed. Yeah. It just, things feel dark. And what are you working towards? Nothing. I mean, what do you want? I don't know. I'm just trying to listen. Write down some goals, you guys. Write down the things that you want, the things that you want to accomplish, and work towards those while you're living your life, okay? So you're living your life, and then you also want to work towards those goals of, okay, I want to accomplish this as well. I want to do that as well, whatever it may be, okay? Put those goals down. That way you start to feel motivated again. You're starting to not feel as motivated or inspired because you're really not working towards it much. You don't have anything that you like, okay, I know I could see me moving towards that. I could see this now. This is now happening because of what I'm doing to make sure that this happens. So definitely setting some goals. Another thing is networking. Okay, it's going to be critical for us to network, you guys. All right. That era of staying to yourself and keeping to yourself is no longer being supported. Okay. That stayed back in 2024. Now in 2026, it's a time to get out and network. And when I say you're going to have to get out, that's why I say get out and go to the forest, get out and walk, go to the gym, whatever you have to do. Why is it important for us to network? because some of us, okay, we have a positive charge, right? So if you stay to yourself, you're only going to be in that positive charge. Sometimes you have to meet with somebody or connect with somebody who has a negative charge, okay? So it's like we're going to have to connect with people who are going to give us that jump start that we need. It's kind of like the batteries done went dead, okay? And now we need that jump start. So just being around people, connecting with new people, it's going to kind of reintroduce you to the world and the life of living. It's going to reintroduce you to, oh, okay, well, what are you doing? Oh, really? Oh, wow. I've always wanted to do that. How did you get started on that? It's like there are strangers, but to us, we know them energetically, but physically, we don't know them. They're like a stranger. But you're going to get out and you're going to be introduced to a lot of your soul family, okay? So you have your regular family, but then we're talking about a soul family, people who come into your life specifically for certain purposes to either help you to get ahead or to help you to realize something, whatever it may be, there is a purpose of them being in your life, okay? So the need to network so that we can get both a positive and a negative charge and we can jumpstart and kind of get back into the life of things, all right? The need for a death. Okay, this one is going to be very critical, and I want to advise before I say anything else that this is a very sensitive aspect, okay? And the terminology that I use, it does not imply that you need to physically hurt or harm yourself, okay? That's not what I mean when I say this. But what I refer to a death is what I call a spiritual suicide, okay? It is where you intentionally get rid of the old version of you, meaning you're still living, okay? But there are aspects of you that just does not serve you today, okay? For example, if there's something that you used to like to do. So for me, I always give you guys examples for me. For me, I would go to the gym and work out, okay? I would love to go to the gym and I love to work out. But what I would do is cardio. I did cardio for years. I would go get on a treadmill. I would walk at a high incline, probably like anywhere from 5 to 9 to 11. And I would walk at like a 3.5, and after a while, that just no longer served me, you guys. It was like it was doing nothing for me. It wasn't contributing towards any of my body goals because my body became immune to it. So I had to then start to incorporate things like Zumba, and I had to incorporate things like a workout class. I started doing that so that I can move different parts of my body, because with me constantly getting on that treadmill for year after year after year, even though every day I'm going to the gym, I'm going for my walk, there was a need for me to incorporate something different. So I had to get out of going to the gym and getting on the treadmill, and things of that nature. So there's something that you have been doing for a while. It don't work for you no more. It just does not support where it is that you're trying to go. You've been there, you've done that. So you have to find what part of you it is that you vibrate towards. What do you feel like, dang, I still do this, and guess what? I'm not getting any results, or I'm not moving forward. I'm not feeling like it's contributing towards my, success. I just feel like, dang, that's it. Like you don't feel it anymore. Whatever it is in your life, if it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's a habit, if it's something you believe, if it's the way you dress, okay? I used to throw on a wig all the time. Y'all know Simon would braid his hair down and toss on a wig like it's nobody's business. But I was like, you know what? I have to let my hair breathe. I really do. Okay, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to stop wearing wigs, y'all. And I know it's a mess. And one thing about Sarah, I do not keep up on, hair. I'm not the hair type, I let it ball up and all of that stuff. And I don't, it is what it is. But my hair have to breathe, because one thing about your hair is your antenna. So it's how you're going to get a lot of knowledge. It's how you're going to get a lot of information, a lot of downloads. A lot of people say, oh, I don't dream, or, I don't get synchronizations, or, I don't know how to trust my intuition. And I'm like, well, what's going on with your hair? What's your hair looking like? You know what I'm saying? What's your hair looking like? Are you washing it? What type of products are you putting in your hair? Okay. If your hair is your antenna and it's how you receive information, you want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure that communication is very, very, very clear. So I tell a lot of people, the reason you're not picking up on any new knowledge, or the reason you're not dreaming, or the reason you feel disconnected, you're not able to create, you don't feel inspired, is because you need to take better care of your hair. Okay, even if you don't have any hair, you got your crown chakra, you can still wash that hair, you know what I'm saying? And you can still do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that up there is clean. Okay, so the need for this spiritual suicide, you guys, getting rid of aspects of yourself that just does not serve you, period. Like whatever it may be, whatever you did, whatever you used to do, whatever, and it doesn't mean that you were doing something bad. It just means that doing that does not work for you. It is not taking you where it is that you need to go. So you need to find something else that you can do, something else that you want to do, or something that's going to be more beneficial towards your growth. Okay. And not something that's keeping you stuck. Right. So just look into whatever that is, y'all. Write it down, whatever it may be, things you just need to stop doing. Like, this ain't working for me no more. I have to change this. Sometimes it can be just a certain way that you're driving to work, or the way that you're driving. Sometimes you got to switch up your routes. Okay. You got to take a totally different route sometimes and just say, okay, because whatever it is, sometimes it could be something over there just waiting for you. And because you took that different route, now oh my God, I just saw that they put up a whole new grocery store over here. Oh my God, you would have never known that if you wouldn't have taken a chance on yourself and taken that different route. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure that, do something, change it up, y'all. The way we have been doing it is not working anymore. It's time to change it up. Whatever that may be for you, it's time to change it up. Okay. Next, we're going to have to focus on children, your creativity, your art, your talent. Okay. So some of us, maybe children, are trying to be a part of your future. Okay. If it's not children, like getting pregnant, or, focusing on your kids, or having a new baby, then it can be your creativity. It can be your art. Okay. Whatever you do, your talent, things of that nature. Maybe you need to focus on that. Bringing something new, like create. Okay. Whether you create a baby, whether you create a new business, whether you create a new t-shirt, a new style of dress, whatever it may be, there's a need for us to get creative and to get inspired and to create something, to, whatever it is not here today. Okay. So this is something new that you are going to give birth to, regardless of what it may be. If it's a baby, if it's a job, if it's a business, if it's an idea, if it's a song, if it's a piece of work, a piece of art, whatever it may be, it's time for us to get in our creative bag. Okay. We're not creating enough. And because we're not creating enough, AI is getting more smarter. Okay. AI is going to take over a lot more because we're not being creative. We're not in our creative bag. We're not, they're even creating babies in the lab now, where you just go tell them what you want your baby to look like, what y'all, that's just the craziest to me. Okay. But yeah, you can go and you can tell them what you want your baby to look like. You give them your egg and they take the sperm, they put it together, and then they'll pop the baby inside of you, or surrogate, or they'll create it in the lab and you go pick it up when it's ready. AI is taking over everything, you guys. Like, we're not being creative enough. We're not creating anymore. So AI is now having to become creative and take over that aspect of us. Okay. So the need to get in your creative bag, whatever it may be, y'all create it. Okay. There's a need for self-love. I know a lot of people say, Sarah, and I love myself. Girl, don't nobody love me more than me. Y'all know I always get on y'all about that, okay? But the need for us to definitely tap into self-love, celebrating yourself. I think we put a lot of expectations on ourselves and we don't celebrate ourselves enough. I think a part of self-love is celebrating yourself. Even if you say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to go for a forest walk for 20 minutes, okay? And you do that. Celebrate yourself. Okay. Like, seriously, take a moment to recognize, like, oh my God, I set up a goal and I accomplished it. We need to celebrate more. I think we focus a lot more on when we don't achieve something. And when we do achieve something, we don't celebrate it enough. Okay. So the reason we don't get to celebrate enough is because we don't have that many goals. Like, we have to really put down goals. And I'm talking about start small. Don't put down no big goal that's going to take 5 years. Like, we're not talking about your 5-year plan. We're talking about what you're going to do by Friday. Okay. If not by tomorrow. Okay. So the need for us to celebrate ourselves a lot more when it comes to self-love. When it comes to self-love, we're not talking about purchasing stuff like, oh, I got a new bag, or, I'm going to take myself out to eat, or, I'm going to purchase. It's nothing material. Okay. When we talk self-love, delete all of the material stuff. Okay. We're not talking about anything material. We're talking about the love of yourself to, one, get to know who you are. I don't know how many of us don't know who we are. Okay. We don't have enough information about our background. We don't have enough information about our parents. Okay. We don't have enough information about our grandparents, right? How can you love yourself if you don't know the foundation of who you are? You don't know the foundation of where you come from. You don't know the history behind the bloodline or the family that you're living in. When it comes to a lot of us, you guys, especially when it comes to me, even though my mama is, hood fabulous, okay, I come from a very Asian background. Okay, even though I'm living next to Benita and Shakita and Tanya and y'all know, okay, I'm over there with Pookie and them. My background and my heritage, you guys, is Asian. Okay, I have a very that's where over 80%. Okay, and I'm just thinking what the? But that's what self-love is: finding out the truth. Okay, really, truly finding out the truth. So, when it comes to me and Miss Swan, that's probably why I'm so attracted to Miss Swan and all the time, because them my damn cousins and sisters and brothers. That's where my heritage, when it comes to my bloodline and when it comes to majority of who I am and my lifestyle and things of that nature, it is Asian, you guys. Okay. And a little bit more than that. But, we would always somebody would look at me and be like, go back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And it's just wow, not even America, but Asia. Okay. So get to know you. That's what self-love is. Self-love is knowing like that. Okay. Because the physical may show one thing, but self-love is really taking the time to do both the shadow work and do both the physical work to find out a lot about yourself that you didn't know. Recently, I found out my father who I thought was my father is not my father. Okay. So here I am living a life thinking, okay, I'm a preacher's daughter. I went from living my entire damn 50-year life, okay, as a preacher's daughter, and come to find out I go from thinking I'm a preacher's daughter to damn near a bastard child in one test. Okay. Okay, I went from thinking I'm a preacher's daughter to now I don't know who my daddy is. Okay. So yeah, which will probably explain more of my Asian, background and things of that nature, you guys. Okay. So yeah, really getting to the truth of who you are. And it's a lot of us. There's a lot of us out here because allegedly a part of a whole experiment, okay, back in certain times, where when you're pretty much a star getting ready to be born into the physical, there's a lot of us think that there's a lot of setups, government setups when we're born. Oh no, they get you before you even get here. Okay, they get you while you're on your way here. So by the time you incarnate and get into the womb and be born, child, listen, you already smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Okay, you already done with. Okay, your whole reality is already set up. Okay, so that's what self-love is: getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Okay, that's what self-love is, y'all. Do yourself some due diligence and get to know more about yourself, because the more you know about yourself, the less you can be manipulated, the less your life can be controlled, and the more power that you can have, and the more control that you can have in your own life, in your day-to-day. Okay, a lot of us feel like we want our 40 acres and our mules, but you can't get that because you have to know who you are in order to get that. So finding out more about you, do more research on you, okay, and go deep, okay. So I just found out I'm less African American and more Asian, and I'm no longer a preacher's daughter. Y'all, listen, it's out there for us to get it. Okay, get to know the truth about you. So that's what self-love is, and celebrate yourself. Okay. Trust the process, you guys. It's going to be very important for us to trust the process. Right now, when I say trust the process, it means whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you feel the need to do, just do it. Trust the process. Take that leap of faith. Do not, one thing I hear a lot is, oh, I got to wait till I get the money to do this, or I got to wait for this. I got to wait. The timing got to be right. The timing is always right. Okay. Trust the process and take that leap of faith. Now, I'm not saying trust the process, take the leap of faith, and then go jump your little arse outside of a moving plane. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But if that's what you feel you need to do, then hey, maybe it's for you to do. That's not for me to do, but maybe it's for you to do. Whatever it is that you feel the need to do. But I really feel like we need to take that leap of faith on ourselves, okay, around this time, because the third dimension is not ever going to make it look like now is the perfect time. It's like that double dutch. You know how it is, how you be trying to wait, try to go in, and then you want to get in there. No, just do it. Okay. Put your goal out there and start working towards it, and just do it. Don't be worrying about the timing to be right. Don't be saying I got to wait on finances to get here. You don't have to wait on anything, you guys. You will be supported. Okay. And if you're not supported, it means that you're doing something that you have no business doing. Okay. All right. So yeah, trust the process. Just do it. Take that leap of faith. Sun time, y'all. We need to get out in the sun. Also, you gotta have to make some time to get out in that sun. And we're talking about early morning sun, anywhere from maybe 10 to 12. Midday. When the sun is the highest, you want to try to get some of that energy right there, okay? That'll be a great time for majority of you to take that forest walk if you can, or that park walk, but you need to get out in that sun, okay? Because it's going to be giving a lot of activations. It's going to be activating a lot of your DNA around this time, okay? This is something that this is like the medicine between the forest and the sun, y'all. This is going to be the medicine, okay? Spirituality, we definitely need to either meditate, whatever you do as far as your spirituality, staying on top of your bath. Shout out to those of you who got the monthly boxes. We're going to be releasing the March box. Okay, we're going to be releasing the March box soon, February 1st. The February boxes will be going out February 1st, y'all. Thank y'all for being patient with me. I was trying to let y'all know it's going to go out February the 1st, y'all. I got them all sitting over here, like seriously. I had a delay on some of the things that's supposed to go inside of the box. I had a delay on the boxes itself. There's just been crazy work, okay, when it comes to getting these boxes together. So not only will the site be back up February 1st, okay, I'm sorry for everybody who's been trying to order, and thank you for messaging me. It's just at this time, you guys, I have not been in a position to where I can take any new orders. I have to get out all of the orders that I have now before I can start working on more orders. So the site will be back up on February 1st, once I am all caught up, okay, and I am able to effectively get everything out in a time frame, because I don't like sitting on people orders, y'all. Y'all know me, when y'all order, usually about 2 days, that order is on its way to you, okay? I'm not the type of person that want people order in my house for weeks and weeks and weeks. That just makes me feel icky and things of that nature. So I definitely prioritize getting shipments out real quick. So I just have to get caught up. There has been so much that has been keeping me back and hindering me from moving forward. And also I had the 2026 consultations. Oh my God. I'm not doing no more of those, y'all. I'm telling you, the last one was today. If you haven't got yours yet, I'm probably either just going to refund you or give you a credit, okay, towards a future purchase. I'm serious. It has been just that much work. I am 2026 out. Okay, out. I am so done with those. It's just too much. It's too much energy. But anywho, I appreciate y'all for getting them. And I hope you guys really receive your messages rather well, because they are very different. I'm telling y'all, we're like this now. We're no longer like that. We are like this. Okay. And I'm telling you now, these things that I'm letting y'all know, this is the energy that you're going to have to be moving forward in. Okay. So when it comes to spirituality, definitely staying on top of your spiritual path, staying on top of your frequency. The best thing is working with the elements or the times or the seasons. Okay. Right now, we're in the season of winter. Okay. So winter, you have to know what the winter energy is. It's all about, that death and rebirth. Okay. It's all about endings. It's all about renewals. It's about purification, cleansing yourself, getting rid of what no longer serves you physically, emotionally, financially, mentally, spiritually, whatever it may be. If it doesn't serve you anymore, now is the time for you to go in and do that purge. This is purging season, you guys. This is not a time to start anything new. This is a time to get rid of the old so that you can get something new during the springtime. Okay. So if we're so busy trying to start stuff right now, we're in the wrong energy. We're not connecting with nature. We've kind of disconnected from nature. We're trying to start a new business. We're trying to start this. We're trying to start a new health regime. We're trying to start a new workout. This is not the time for that. Now is the time to get rid of that workout that didn't help you. Okay. If you like, okay, I'm all cardioed out. I did that all 2025. Now is your time to say, okay, that's what I'm going to release in 2026 is doing too much cardio. Now I'm going to move into weights, or now I'm going to move into a yoga, or now I'm going to move into Pilates, or now I'm going to, whatever it may be. Okay. In your life. Now is the time for you to take note of what you are no longer going to move forward with. Okay. And now is the time for you to use all of your energy to get rid of that, because some of these things, even though I give you small examples like working out, some of these things are hard. Some of these things are eating habits. Y'all know Siren is still struggling over here, holding on to a Snickers. Okay. I have decided to introduce, I'm lying. See, Spirit already checking me. I didn't decide this. Okay. It is necessary for me to move into a vegan lifestyle. So for the next year, you guys, I will be entertaining, and this is not a lifestyle change. This is just something I'm doing for the next year to work on my frequency. This is a self-love, okay? So it's all about me eating foods with energy. Right? It's all about me getting the electric that I need from the food, and getting the magnetics, okay, that I need from the foods, and no longer consuming things that are not food. Now, if there was a raw, real source of meats that I could get access to, then of course, if I had time to go on a boat and go out there in the water and, catch me a little fish or two, you know what I'm saying? I would probably consume it. But because I don't have time to catch the real meat and the real flesh, then I will not be partaking in consuming it. Okay. So throughout this journey of mine, it is not something that's easy, but it's a part of my spiritual healing. It's a part of what it is that I'm doing to, better myself and become a higher version of myself. I feel like I need more clarity. I feel like I need more motivation. I feel like I need more creativity. And, I want to be focused on foods that will be helping me to experience those type of frequencies. So, just staying away from consuming low vibrational foods is a choice that I have made. So, like I said, for some of you, it will be very critical things. Okay. For some of us, it may be little light things that we got to let go of that's not serving us. But for others of us, it can be some hard things. It can be relationships. Okay. Perhaps some of us have been in a relationship way past its expiration date. Okay. Some of us, it could be a career. Perhaps we've been in a career way past the expiration date, right? Sometimes it can be just things about us, ways about us that we have to let go of, whatever it may be. It will be different for each and every one of us, but it will be necessary. So whatever is necessary for you to get rid of, to purge at this time, is what you should be focused on. Some of us, when it comes to spirituality, we need to try to meditate more, really, get into a zone, get into your space where you can answer your own questions. I think a lot of us depend too much on outside, God, send me a sign, it's like, create a sign. Okay. Create a sign. So instead of saying, God, send me a sign all the time, say, you know what? I'm going to look for, or I'm going to expect to see, a red cardinal. Okay. That will let me know that this decision I'm making is right for me. And throughout the day, you may or may not see a red cardinal. If you don't see it, then there you go, right? If you do see it, there you go. I think, the need for independence, you guys, the need to trust yourself and the need to know that God is also a part of you. It's not only outside of you, it is also within you. So when we're seeking God's help, we got to stop looking outside of ourselves all the time, expecting to get that clarification and expecting to get those answers or expecting to get that help. God is also a part of you. Okay, so you can create the medicine to your own pain, okay, to your own illness. You can create the medicine for it as well. So some of us may meditate, you guys. Some of us may go to church, regardless of whatever it is. However you feel you need to connect with Source, however you feel you need to connect or raise your spiritual vibration, I strongly suggest that you focus on that as well, you guys. Okay, so these are the lifestyle changes that we need to kind of consider to take on so that we can become a higher version of ourselves, you guys. This is going to lead to a whole new world. Okay, when I say a whole new world, y'all gonna be checkmate. I'm telling you now. This is going to work on your frequency. This is going to work on your vibration. And y'all know Spiritual Candy saying, change your frequency, change your experience, okay? Change your frequency, change your life. A lot of us, we want something that we don't vibrate towards. A lot of us, we're expecting something that we just don't vibrate towards. And it is not until we work on our frequency, okay, to become that version of us that has that thing that we are seeking. So there's quite a bit of us. And when I say, we don't vibrate towards this, some of us, we need to just do little simple things like spiritual baths, or, we just got to work on our habits. We got to cut out certain things, no more alcohol. We got to change the way that we eat. Okay. Sometimes it requires heavier work. And I'm going to give you me as an example. It wasn't until I found out that the man I thought was my father is not my father. When I got that truth, that shifted me into a whole other reality, y'all. That shifted me into a whole other reality. Now, for those of you who watch my vlogs, I went through a rental situation with my previous landlord, right? And I took them to court, and I lost the case. Like, the judge was throwing it out. I had to file an appeal. And the judge kept throwing it out and just denying the appeal and things of that nature. And I kept filing back. I'm like, I'm going to file it again. And it wasn't until I got this truth that as soon as I got that truth, they gave me another court date. They was like, okay, here's your court date. Soon as I went to that court date, boom, judge granted my dang on case, okay? And I got my lawsuit, and I won, okay? All those times I kept going, I was just in the wrong frequency. Sometimes it requires for you to change the way you eat, doing certain baths, stop hanging out. Sometimes it requires small things like that. But sometimes it requires for you to be in a certain frequency. And in order for you to be in that frequency, you have got to know a truth about you, or you have got to move in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Soon as I found out this guy was not my father, I moved to a whole nother city and state. Before, you guys, I was trying to move since 2023, I believe, 2022 or 2023. Everything kept happening to where I could not move. Okay. I'm just like, I got frustrated and I started to feel stuck. And the reality is I was stuck. I was stuck in a false identity. I was stuck in a frequency that I couldn't ride no more. I rode that frequency until I couldn't ride it. And it was like, in order for me to get out of that frequency, I had to know a truth, but I didn't know what that truth was. So that's when I started to meditate. That's when I started to clean up some of my habits. That's when I started to go within Okay, and stop seeking on the outside. I started to go within and say, what is it that I need to work on? What is it that I need to know? What is it that I need to, get out of the way? And I had to make some lifestyle changes. I did. I had to make some lifestyle changes in order for me to gain access to this knowledge. Okay. So it's not like I just woke up and it's like, oh, he's not the father. No, there were some things about me that I had to change. There were some things about me that I had to cut out. I had to cut out like a lot of drinking, you guys. I had to drink only certain waters. There were certain foods I had to cut out. There was a lot that I had to change about myself, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why I had to make those changes at first. But then as I started to make those changes and started to incorporate them in my life, I started to get access to different information. And that's when it came to me, hey, you need to take a paternity test. And I'm thinking like, what? You need to take a paternity test. I hadn't talked to the man that I knew as my father in years. Like, he and I were not on speaking terms. And it was just like, soon as I got that message that I had to take the paternity test, you guys, I got on the phone with him like this. For years, I would call him, or either I would miss him, or he just wasn't answering my calls, or he would call me, or I would miss him. Whatever. We just could not get in contact with one another, right? And it was just like, as soon as I got in the frequency of this, we was on the phone that day. The next day, I was on my way to his house. Let me tell you something. I had never had this man's address before. Never had I had his address before. Okay. Not only did, when we get on the phone, he gave me his address. I was like, yo, I feel like we need to do a DNA test. And he was like, and he was kind of iffy about it. But Spirit was like, no, this is going to happen because I vibrated towards it. And I personally feel like the reason this guy wanted to be my father was because he knew my frequency. He knew my power. Okay. I believe strongly that he is a Mason. Okay. He knew my power. He knew what I was connected to. And he knew for as long as he was connected to me under that false identity, that he was going to be, or he was benefiting from it, shall I say. And it was giving destiny swap. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. So yeah, y'all, it's some real stuff going on out here. And there's some things that we really need to know. Okay. And I didn't know any of this prior to that. I was not privy to any of this information until I decided to do the work, until I decided to really work on myself. And a lot of you, there are some things that you don't want to let go of, that it's like, it just requires you to let go of. There are some things that you don't want to do that it just requires you for you to do. This next thing that you want, this version of you is not the version that has it. This next life that you want, this higher level that you want, this version of you today is not the version that has it. Even though you guys will look at Siren and be like, Siren, I would expect you to be vibrating high. I wasn't vibrating high enough to move, y'all. I was stuck over there. I wanted to do something as simple as move, and I couldn't. I wasn't vibrating towards it. There were some things about me that I had to let go. There was a whole reality about myself that I believed that did not support where it was that I wanted to go. So now you got to make a decision how bad you want it. Do you want it that bad that you're going to do what it takes for you to get it? Are you going to make the necessary sacrifices, or are you going to become the sacrifice? Okay. So whatever it is that you're trying to move towards, whatever it is that you feel like, I feel stuck. I feel like there's something I want, but I just feel stuck. I don't feel like I'm getting closer to it. I just still want it. No matter how bad, I just still want it. I still want it, but I'm not getting it. Then you're going to have to reevaluate yourself. You're going to have to say, okay, the version of me today, the version of who I am right now is just not the version that has it. What do I need to do to become the version of me that has that is actually experiencing that? What do I need to let go of? Who do I need to let go of? Because it's going to be some things, you guys. I had to sacrifice a whole man. I believe it's my damn daddy, okay? I had to get to the root of that, and it was so crazy because I had just got a new copy of my birth certificate, right? And this is what really kind of triggered it. For years, this man was not on my birth certificate. From the time I still got my original birth certificate from when I was born, okay? I still have that original birth certificate, y'all. It's throwback like a mug, okay? And it's all taped up and everything. But anywho, it's so old, it's not even valid anymore. They're like, no, that's not a valid. They'll tell you quick, I can't even use that. They say it's no longer valid. It's that old and throwback, right? So this guy was not on my birth certificate. So about 2, maybe 3 years ago, I went to get a copy of my birth certificate, right? And when I went to get a copy of my birth certificate and they sent it to me, his name was on there as the father. And I'm just like, so at first I'm thinking like, okay, like, my daddy name on my birth certificate. Okay, all right, kudos, cool. But no, that was not spirit saying that this was a moment. This was something for me to look into, okay? Because now my reality was being based upon me being his daughter, which was a lie. So my whole foundation was a lie. It was built on a lie. So anything I was building was from a faulty foundation, which means what is going to crumble and fall. This is why I couldn't get that consistency. I couldn't get that stability. I kept chasing something, and whatever this is in your life, you have to get to the root of who you are. I told y'all my background is Asian. Asia! And I'm talking over 80%. Asian. So, when I look in the mirror, I'm sitting up here like, what? Huh? Yes. This is why I've been introducing y'all to, the Chinese zodiac. And, I always wonder why it was that I was into feng shui, and just a whole bunch of like different of their cultural backgrounds. It's a whole lot about me that I'm like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. I'm obsessed with Kung Fu Panda. That's funny. But anywho, yes, you guys, with more, even with their healing practices, okay, with their healing practices and things of that nature, a lot of that stuff. And I didn't, really recognize that, like, wow, this is where it was coming from. And it is, y'all. So yes, finding out the truth. That's what self-love is really getting to the root of who you are, because a lot of us have been bamboozled, okay? And the last thing you want to do is try to build a whole reality on a lie. Okay, because it's only going to crumble and fall. Everything that you do, you would never feel stable. You would never feel secure because your foundation is faulty. It's a lie. So a lot of us have to get to the root of that. We have to get to the root of who we are. And you couldn't tell Siren, okay? You could not tell me all these years that, oh, I didn't know, who I am. And I thought I knew so much about myself. But sometimes we just don't vibrate to the truth. Even when it comes to consultations, there are a lot of things that I feel like people couldn't know. And it's like, even the longer people get consultations with me, the more they find out about themselves, the more their life changes. Because it's like, dang, if I always say, why didn't they know that from the beginning, but you didn't vibrate towards that knowledge. You had to work on yourself. You had to heal yourself. And this is what life is about. We think that the money is the power. It's not. It's not, because I could have had millions, okay, living that lie, but eventually it will always crumble because the foundation is not stable. Okay, so really getting to the bottom of who you are, getting to know so much more about you, investing in yourself, investing in your wealth, investing in your health, all of that stuff, you guys, is what you really need to do. That's really where the power is. And understanding that everything you experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, is a part of your journey. That's your purpose. We think our purpose is to be somebody or to have something or to do something big. This journey is your purpose. Your purpose is to come here to experience happiness, sadness, pain, disappointment, okay? Your purpose is to experience the journey as it goes. It's going to have ups, downs, ins, out. You're going to go all type of ways, look like a pretzel. But that is your whole purpose, is to experience the journey. It's not always going to be good. Don't think that the bad times mean God hates you and you having bad luck. Sometimes those are your most critical moments. Those are your most powerful moments, is when you go through those storms and you come out. It's not about coming out of the storm. It's the whole process of what happened in the storm. People pay big money for that. They want to hear, what happened in the storm? If you never had that story to tell them, then you will become irrelevant. They don't care what you got to say. They want to hear from the person who went through the storm. Their mouth is open and their eyes are big. They're like, oh my God, what? And you're like, yeah, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then that happened. That is your whole purpose, you guys. Some of you, your purpose is just to experience pain, to go through it and to get over it. That's a part of your purpose. It's not your only purpose, but it is a part of your purpose to experience pain, to experience setbacks. Because just imagine a life where you get everything you want. Life would be boring AF. And then guess what? We're going to want to go back to the spirit realm, okay, where it's boring at, because we've been there, that place that we, heaven, I can't wait to go to heaven. You can go to heaven every day, any chance, anytime you want to, you can go to heaven. Okay, heaven is a state of being. All right. Now, what happens is you get in heaven and everything is perfect. Oh, it gets boring. It gets boring. And then what you want to do, go down the hill. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go down the hill. Go ahead and rent me a body. You don't put your body on layaway and stuff. You already ready, because you know within maybe 2,000 years, you're going to be ready to go down to hell and experience that, because you've been up here long enough and it done got boring. And it's just like, hey, I'm just ready to go through. But what happens when we get in hell, we get addicted. Okay? We get addicted to the cars, clothes, the food. Okay? We get addicted to the social media. We get addicted to all of this physical stuff. And that's where the trap falls. And then we like to blame, the government. And, there are other beings that does contribute towards the addiction, because that's why they put FDA, Food and Drug Administration, okay? And don't think it's separate. It's together, Food and Drug Administration. That's why they have things like that in place to keep you addicted, to keep you here, okay? To keep you here so that you really don't ever go back there. But it's not about whether you go into heaven or be into hell. Okay. And when I say hell, we're not talking about that place. Oh, it's fire and it's a big demon on top and he has his cast iron. No, we're not talking about that, y'all. This is exactly what it is that we're talking about. When we come down to the hell, your feet, the heel, okay, the bottom, which means we're vibrating to the lower aspect of ourselves. But a lot of us get trapped in this. A lot of us, we get addicted to it and it's so good. And next thing you know, sometimes we get tired of it. It's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get up out of here. I can't take it no more, because, we don't understand, or we're not able to find the gratitude in the pain and the suffering. We feel that pain, we feel that suffering, and we don't even know that's something we've been praying for. That's something we asked for. That's something we came here for. Like, if everything is always happy and peaches and cream in heaven, and then when we get down here, it's pain and suffering. And sometimes you can experience peaches and cream. It depends, But when we get in that pain and suffering, we start to get in that temper tantrum. And it's like, boo, poor me. Oh, my God. We don't want to experience it, but so long. Like, no, that's it. That's it. I don't want to experience it. But listen, it has a purpose. Your pain has a purpose, okay? Everything you go through has a purpose when you come down here. And that's what they don't tell you when you get down here into the rules and laws of hell, that it all has a purpose and it's to better you and it serves you in every way, shape, or form. We all think that, it's irrelevant. It's just here to hurt me. Listen, the pain is more powerful than the pleasure. You can leave here, you can come here or be reborn here as like a guardian angel. See, y'all don't really know that y'all are, guardian angels. Some of you are ascended masters. Some of you are gods and goddess. Okay, it depends, right? We're all different levels, right? Kind of like high school. Some of us are, sophomores. Some of us are seniors. Some of us are freshmen. It's just like that. But we're all here in a different aspect of ourselves, right? So some of you don't know that you're angels. And the more pain you go through, when you leave this lifetime, you can ascend, to a spirit guide. So when you come back, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to play, certain roles. But when you come back and you have harder life lessons, it's because you're like, okay, I don't want to be a spirit guide no more. I want to become an ascended master. Okay. And then you come here and you have tough life lessons. You may be, touched as a child. You may be abused as a child, okay? You may be adopted or given up as a child, right? You may go from foster home to foster home. You may inherit some crazy, lose a leg or something in life. You may go through a domestic violent relationship. You may end up in prison for something you didn't even do. You don't even understand. You think that you're being targeted and attacked, but you don't understand that all of that pain is what's going to get you to that next level spiritually. But see, what happens, a lot of us, we forget. We forget that we signed up for this. And what happens is we start to get into remorse and regret, and then we go into the sunken place. And when you get into the sunken place, you don't get to elevate. You don't get to go back. You got to keep coming here until you get it right. So we forget that, we're really here to get to a higher level energetically. And then when you finally pass that life lesson, when you finally get out of that, and now you're an ascended master, now you're like, okay, I want to be a god. Right? I want to raise myself up to a God status and or goddess status, okay? And then you got to come back here and you have even tougher lessons, okay? You have even tougher lessons. You may have a child, and every time your child get 15, they pass away. Okay? It's crazy things that happen, you guys, but it's because we have to experience such harsh and then such beautiful things at the same time in order for us to get to those levels. It's like when you graduate from 9th grade, when you come back to 10th grade, you have harder tests. Now you got to learn more difficult math, okay? And then when you graduate 10th grade, in order for you to get to the 11th grade, you got to pass that hard test. When you go to the 11th grade, in order for you to become a senior, you got to pass that hard test. And in order for you to graduate as a senior, you got to pass that hard test. So we got to stop looking at our pain, you guys. We got to stop looking at everything, what we consider bad that happens to us. Those are your most critical moments. Those are the moments that, you're being recognized the most. Not everybody get those moments. Not some people will have a lifetime of pleasure where everything good happened for them. They don't, what we call them, they born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And we think that those are blessed people. Let me tell you something. When you go through those lifetimes or those life experience and life lessons that hurt the most, those are the blessed people. See, God is only going to test his strong ones. Everybody else is kind of like, a teacher who, certain kids, she don't even care to try to teach them because she know they only there to play around or horse around, and they not trying to learn nothing. So what she does is she pull her critical students to the front, the rest of them to the back. And those in the front think, oh my God, I don't get it. It's not fair. They just get to sit in the back and play, while we got to get up here and study and do work and take tests and stuff. And they just come to class every day and they just play and they just have so much fun. But when it comes to the end, who graduates? You. See, the teacher pulled you to the front because the teacher believes in you. The teacher sees your effort, and the teacher is recognizing you, and the teacher is rewarding you by giving you assignments and by giving you tests. Those who in the back who ain't playing, who just playing around and who ain't paying attention, she don't even care to give them a test because she know they not taking life serious. She know they probably ain't going to amount to be nothing this lifetime because that's their own choice. So that's kind of how the universe and how God sees you. God will continue to test you because God really wants you to pass and God really wants you to ascend. And the harder the test, the bigger the test, the more points that you earn. So when you do leave this physical body, when you are moving on to the next level, you're going to walk out of that thing with your degree or your diploma or your wings, okay? Or your next level of frequency. You're going to walk out of here into that spirit realm and you're going to be recognized and celebrated. They may not celebrate you here. Don't even expect that celebration here because you're still going through the process. You haven't received that ceremony yet. But you are being celebrated in ways, I'm telling you right now, when you go through these hard tests and these storms, you have those who are on the other side who know you had to come back here. They over there cheering and celebrating you because they see you getting through it. They see you not allowing that to keep you stuck in this realm and in this dimension. So they see you growing. They like, oh my God, she's doing it. Oh my God, he's doing it. Oh my God, they doing it. Oh my God, they passed. Ah! You got people celebrating you. And you over here thinking you a victim of this life, when really you are a victor. You are the reason, okay, that you are here. You are the reason that they are celebrating on the other side. So don't take any of this personal, guys. Your whole point is to come over here and to master this. But this journey, be it good, bad, or indifferent, is your purpose, okay? I'll see you guys soon. Bye, y'all.